If I was down to my last dollar, I would spend it on public relations. Words of Bill Gates, the co-founder of Microsoft Corporation. District officials, club officials, fellow Toastmasters, and guests, a warm good evening to one and all. I'm Aparna Ranish, your Surgeon Arms for today, and I take this opportunity to welcome you all to the District 116 Training, Peekaboo PR Educational Series, Part 3. Let me read out the district mission. We build new clubs and support all clubs in achieving excellence. Public relations are a key component of any operation in this day of instant communications. And we all know how important it is to keep ourselves updated with the latest technologies in managing public relations. Our district PR team has been trying their best to keep us adept in latest PR technologies through the Peekaboo Educational Series. Today, we have two great speakers, all set to educate us on getting creative with our newsletters and to train us in creating amazing videos. Before we proceed further, let me remind you of the ground rules that are to be followed during the training. Please ensure your mic is always muted, except for the speaker. Please turn off all noise-making devices around you, put them in silent mode during the meeting or mute on your device. Speakers are requested to refrain from making any references to politics, sex, or religion throughout the session. And while taking a break or moving away from your seats, please don't forget to turn off your camera and to mute your mic. Meeting experience can be enhanced by switching on to speaker's view. Any clarifications or questions on the training can be sent as a text message to the Master of Ceremony, which will be addressed during question and answer session. The entire training session is being recorded, and this will be made available to all the participants later. And now, to open today's training session, it's my privilege to introduce our vibrant district director, the servant leader who is always ready to help, a versatile personality who is open to any challenges and faces them with a bright, upright smile. A wonderful leader, speaker, trainer, motivator, and whatnot. The list is endless. So with a big round of virtual applause, let's welcome our own district director, the multi-talented, the multifaceted, self-motivated, distinguished Toastmaster, Rajesh PC. The virtual stage is all yours, PD.
Thank you, Aparna. I was thinking somebody else will come here as district director with all these introductions. Thank you so much. You made my day. Even my wife don't say all those things. District Administrative Manager, Distinguished Toastmaster Aparna, District PR Manager Nuruddin, the trainer for today, the Toastmaster Rifka and Swetha Raghuraman, fellow leaders and members of World #1 District. Congratulations for the great training. With all your permission, let me declare District Event number 19 and District PR Training number 13 open. District leadership is something great. Every year it is great, but this year they have taken a step higher. 19 district events is something far beyond imagination. And all these things, PR plays a major role. When Aparna spoke about PR, she spoke everything what I wanted to speak. Now I have nothing to speak about PR. But one thing I wanted to emphasize is marketing comes through PR. In Toastmaster, we don't spend money on marketing. We don't spend money on advertisements. We don't spend money boosting on Facebooks. But what we do is we have a dedicated, competitive, and enthusiastic PR team who ensure that we are seen everywhere. And the result is what is seen on the screen. I don't know how to create a video, but Swetha knows. And Swetha does for me. I don't know how to write a newsletter, but there are people in District 116 and others think it is Rajesh who made it. And today I have an opportunity to learn all those things from Rifka and Swetha. Thank you so much for your time and effort in helping others to learn. But these two things are one of the major things what everyone should learn. If you want to build a profile for yourself, one-page profile, if you don't know how to make a newsletter, and building a profile is a minute job. If you want to send your 1 minute video of about your introduction, if Swetha teaches today well, and hopefully from next time onwards, Aparna or the MC will not be speaking. I will ask them to put this video instead for my introduction. So this training is something special for all of us. Thank you so much, Nuruddin. Our program quality director, Toastmaster Ravi Shankar, has joined. I acknowledge his presence. With this note, let me hand over the control back to distinguished Toastmaster Aparna for further proceedings of the meeting.
You need to invite MC.
Yes, I was thinking Didi will invite the MC.
Shall I invite Aparna? Okay. Our MC is something who is very special today. Is calm, cool, and composed. Excellent and enthusiastic personality. Anytime you ask her something, she's ready. She's always with questions to do something. What next? Every time she's having something to do in her hand. And a vibrant Toastmaster. A person from whom many can learn how a Toastmasters activity or a PR can be done. Put your hands together to welcome Smita Bindu. Thank you so much, Smita. But let me confess you now, I did not know who was the MC. I did not read the agenda. I was in a training till 5:30. Immediately after the training, I came here for ExCom meeting. You told to introduce in there. I just use a plain language which can suit for anybody. But Bindu has been something special. When Bindu came on the screen, only I understood Bindu is MC. Thank you so much. I owe all this credit to Toastmaster. At least it has made me to, it's given me that confidence to come into that situation that anytime, anywhere you are ready to speak and you don't create that embarrassment. Thank you, Toastmaster. And I thank each one of you in this screen. Because of you, I have been what I am. Thank you. And thank you, Bindu. The screen is yours.
Thank you, District Director. After your introduction, I was thinking that is this me, the one whom he was introducing, like he said so many things, especially calm, cool. My daughter, if she would have been here, no, she would have laughed, definitely. Because she says like, I'm crazy. The first time I'm hearing from someone. Thank you so much. Good evening, district dignitaries, fellow Toastmasters, our PR visa trainers and friends. Once again, a warm good evening. I would like to welcome you all to District PR Training Series Peekaboo Educational Part 3. And I also want to start from something our Sergeant at Arms started. If I was down to my last dollar, I would spend it on public relation. What does that mean? What does that mean? This is a quote from Bill Gates. What does that mean? It means public relation is extremely important, and being able to use it in the right way means everything. Public relation is a management between an organization and its public, sharing the right information to right places and people, which builds the brand reputation. It not only protects the good reputation, but creates a good media relation. For many Toastmasters, we know that the greatest challenge we face is, in order to run a successful club and become a successful, continue our club meeting, where public relations plays a great role. And that is how the club, big part of the club success is also under public relation. And it's about creating the content and managing communication. A well-executed, carefully planned strategy can definitely make a substantial difference to your club status. Martin Luther King once said, faith is taking the first step, even when you doesn't see the whole staircase. While it's important for some plans to be well thought, just leave the room for confidence and spontaneity. Today, We have two talented PR wizards who are going to train you the initial step to be taken to produce a good newsletter and video editing, which can promote your club, eventually make your club a quality club. The first trainer will be from Sri Lanka, a Toastmaster. I just got the introduction of her. When I saw that, I don't know what more to say, like, and I saw her, I was expecting a person, a bit older or say inexperienced, means you will always feel like, a little bit older. When I saw her on the screen, I was so surprised. Toastmaster Rifka, a Toastmaster since 2020. Only 2 years, 3 years, 2 years. Okay. And she became she's the area director of area F3, immediate past president of Matale Toastmasters Club, public speaking coach at Speak Sri Lanka, club coach of Wednesday 7 Toastmasters Club, District 82 PR team contents specialist 2021-2022, Division F PR team creative head 2020-2021, Area F3 International Speech Contest second runner-up 2021-2022, and Area F4 International Speech Contest runner-up 2020-2021. I'm tired of reading it. International Speech Contest Champion, Club Level 2020, 21, and 22. Table Topic Contest Champion, 2020 and 2021, and 2022. Evaluation Contest Champion, Club Level 2021 and 2022. And her professional qualification, after reading all these things, I'm sure he will not listen to her professional qualification. A Bachelor of Science undergraduate from Monash University, Australia, currently working as Executive Global Sourcing at Stretchline Private Limited, Mass Group. What more to say? It's just to hear from her, right? I request all of you to put your hands together and welcome our first trainer, Toastmaster Rifka. Toastmaster Rifka, the screen is yours.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Smriti Bindu. I think I was tired of listening it as well. And I did say Toastmaster Nuruddin to cut it short. But overall, let me begin our session. Thank you so much for the opportunity. And let's begin. Now, I know all of you here are here to learn about creative contents for newsletters, right? So I have a few questions in the beginning. Let's have some fun. Can I know what you see from this picture? Anyone? You can voice out or put it on the chat box. What do you see from here?
McDonald's.
McDonald's.
M. Half M.
McDonald's. All right.
McDonald's half M.
Yes, McDonald's half M, right. It's the McDonald's advertisement, all right. And what do you see from this?
Talabat.
Well done, the District 116. I think you got 2 bonus points for today. You got it both right. This was an advertisement for McDonald's, and this was the Talabat logo. So what I was trying to tell from this is that even without me telling you the word McDonald's or a burger picture or anything out there, you were able to guess what these 2 brands were. Just half an M here and half a T, right? That's the power of a brand. And that's what a brand can do to all of us. Now, all of us were talking about PR and marketing, and it's all about spreading the information, marketing your brand. And that's what we are going to do as Toastmasters. Each and every one of us who's here as a Toastmaster is a brand ambassador for the organization in itself. And each one of us is in charge for every single name, word, or publications we do in terms of the word Toastmasters International. And today it gives me utmost pleasure to get you started into knowing how to create a quality content for your club newsletters. So here's my 4 tricks to do that. But before that, I want answers for this as well. Now, what is the difference between a magazine and a newsletter? Feel free to unmute and also voice out. What's the difference between magazine and newsletter? Don't worry, there's no right or wrong. I'm
hi.
sorry. I did.
Good evening.
Yeah. Good evening.
So a newsletter has more specific topics. I think it's usually related to either a club, an organization. Sometimes schools have newsletters, so it's very specific, whereas a magazine can have diverse topics.
Well done. I don't think I have to give an introduction, but well done. That's absolutely right. Magazines and newsletters are two distinctly different magazines. Now, I grabbed some notes here, right? So just like I think Toastmaster Swetha mentioned, I believe it's her, I can only see her unmuted, but if it's not, whoever that wise Toastmaster was, newsletters and magazines have distinct differences. Newsletter is about a key subject. It has a targeted audience, and it's only for that audience based on that interest and content. Whereas magazines can be anything. You just take a magazine today, it could be on, advertisements about vehicles, job descriptions, style, media, anything and everything could be found in a magazine. It doesn't have a distinct boundary on what the content is. But a newsletter is different. It'll either be a corporate newsletter of a company or even Toastmasters. We have a magazine, we have club newsletters. We have distinct differences on what that magazine or that publication is up to. And a magazine in general is written for anybody could read a magazine. But a newsletter is specific. And today we're going to look into how we can create our club newsletters. I'm giving you tricks and tricks on to find out what exactly we have to do in our club newsletter. And most important difference is that a newsletter is actually quite short. Sometimes it's short as 1 to 2 pages, whereas a magazine can be pages and pages, right? The final verdict is newsletters are specific and magazines are general, right? So here are my 4 steps to follow to create a content quality, engaging newsletter. Number 1, know your focus. Now, what is all this focus about? Let me explain. Number 2, create quality content. Number 3, simple, catchy design. Lastly, publish and promote. That's what PRs are for, right? So let's move on to the first point, know your focus. Now, can I have answers? What do you think is the focus of a club newsletter? Anyone in Toastmasters context?
Yeah, to showcase the club's highlights, the achievements, and what is done during that particular period of time.
Wonderful, right? It's to showcase the club highlights, simple as it can be, right? All right. Now, as for me, I think it's very important that we find out how to create a newsletter. We need to know 2 important answers. And those are answers for these 2 questions, which is, what is the purpose of this newsletter? Is it to sell a product? Or are you trying to create a newsletter to share some information? Or is there any other reason? In my case, I would say, I think as Toastmaster Swetha mentioned, we have a club newsletter to share the club highlights, as well as who is your audience? Is it your club members alone, or the guests, or non-Toastmasters, your corporate staff, friends, and family? Who's your audience? Identify the answers for these 2, and then you will have a clear idea on what you're going to create. What is that you have to create will be clear if you find out the answers for the purpose of the newsletter and who you're going to publish it to, or who is your audience, right? This will lead you to find your focus. Next, now you know who is the person. So for us, it's our club members. How are we going to create content? What is the content that we're going to put in? Yes, club highlights, but what about it? And how do I make it interesting? Imagine every clubs in District 116 putting their club highlights in their newsletter. Who's going to stand out? And what's different between every club? That's our responsibility to show. So in a club newsletter, it's basically club matters or club highlights. And I personally think these are some of the list of things that I personally have included in all 4 club letters I've been a part of. And I've seen other clubs doing so well with this content. Number 1, club activities. It could be meetings, outdoor meetings, joint meetings, contests, conferences, anything that your club does, update it. And most importantly, newsletters is the best form to keep your club members encouraged and engaged and motivated as well. Now, it shouldn't be something that you publish to win an award or to get some points. It should be something that you actually use to promote your club and to make your member feel, inclusive and motivated. So share your member achievements. If someone has won an area level contest, a club level contest, 5 member sponsors, whatever the achievement is, make sure you use your club newsletter to showcase the talent of your members. And number 3, something that I personally think we should use more is, what is Toastmasters all about? It's leadership and communication skills. Now, the entire syllabus of Toastmasters is the Pathways Learning Experience. And all of us who are DTMs or TMs have completed 2 parts, 1 parts. We've done multiple speeches. We've passed that hurdle one by one. But have you ever read a speech summary in a newsletter? Has anybody told you about one of the best speeches they've done in a newsletter? If you have, that's great content. But for me personally, I think that's one of the solid content that we can put is to have speech summaries. It could be from members alone, visiting Toastmasters, or even world champions. Wouldn't it be great to have like an evaluation on a world champion speech in your newsletter? That's going to be interesting, right? People are going to come back and be like, oh, this club had this evaluation done on DTM Verity Prize's speech. That's going to be interesting and engaging content. Another one could be, your club photo gallery. Put up pictures of events and meetings that you had. I think I recently saw a lot of pictures when the FIFA World Cup is going on and everyone had Toastmasters magazine in Qatar and it was all out. And I'm excited to see what the club newsletters are going to hold, because if I was the VPPR, I'm going to put that as a cover page. Don't you think that's an excellent content to showcase your club culture, your club photo memories and pictures, and even upcoming events? What are you planning for the whole year? We have the club success plan, don't we? And in club success plan, according to Toastmasters, we have events that we have to, do for engaging new members and, promoting our club to a distinguished club. But how are we just going to fill it in a form, club success plan, and okay, we have to achieve the education goals and that's it? Why don't you think creating a very quality creative content newsletter is also a way that you could spread the word about Toastmasters to your members? And I personally think that's a very powerful tool if you really do it with that intention of spreading the word of Toastmasters for the non-Toastmasters. Another one that you could add is the member progress tracker. We have this, we do this, but put it out there on the publication so it shows progress. And obviously, it's a Toastmasters International Club magazine. So you could have the Toastmasters organization updates. For example, I think recently we had an update on the level 1s. We had like extra speeches and projects coming in. Maybe you could put up a small note on that, Toastmasters International updates. And also, most importantly, acknowledge and introduce your newcomers, the new members of your club. Now, these are stuff that you could put in to add more volume and value to your newsletter. Now, all of the clubs that's in District 116 has their own USP. What I mean by USP is something that's iconic and unique to your club. You may be an online club, a hybrid club, a club that meets in a specific town, or a corporate club. There's something special about your club. Use that USP to make your identity and be that brand ambassador of your club and show it in your newsletter. Don't keep it in such a way that it's just a book that you do or the VPPR does and it's gone away after it's published. Make sure that you use that document, that 10 to 15 pages on another level. In terms of articles that you use, it has to be relevant, informative, engaging. And I personally think, as I told before, magazines and newsletters are different. In newsletters, it's always better to have short and concise articles, no matter what and who is writing it. A maximum of 400 words would be the max. It's personal opinion, but you could keep it as short and concise as possible. I'm going to show you some interesting experience and articles that I've done before as well in our club and how we, incorporated engaging content. But before that, here's the plan that I usually follow and I've seen other clubs follow, which has led to creative content newsletters. Number 1, it can't be a one-person show. because you need a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of effort to put this together. And through my experience, I personally feel forming a newsletter committee or a team to set up your club newsletter is the very first step that you have to do in creating a content newsletter. Have editors, writers, proofreaders, very, very important. And also photographers, why not? Take individual pictures of your members, showcase who your members are, and even events. And this way you have a team and members engaging together and, learning together. It's also something that I personally would use in my CV, because I think the first time I ever did a newsletter and finished it, I almost cried. It was submission 12 a.m. and I finished it and I was like, I'm going to put this up on my CV because I think I deserve that for all that effort and learning that I went through. Next, after I form a team with your club VPPR and the team, go on to decide and discuss, okay, what's the size of our newsletter? Is it going to be 10 pages, 15 pages, 10 to 15, 10 to 17? Something that we practice in District 82 is it's a requirement of 7 to 17 pages. So maximum we could go up to 17. But I think a decent newsletter is maximum up to 20 to 24. That's one of the credible resources talk about it. And finally, on the delivery dates as well. And I think I have a question. Toastmaster Amina says, can we include non-Toastmaster related topics for articles? Do you think anyone in your club would want to read a content about, okay, Rifka went to Singapore last time, or last vacation, I spent my time in Singapore. Is that a content that I want to read? No, but if not, if I share something inspiring, something about how, I went to this place and there was a learning that I got and I incorporated that into my journey of my Toastmasters career or did a speech about it or something that relates back to the point, because your audience is your members.
Yeah. Yeah, my question was actually non-Toastmaster related, but something relevant and informative, just to engage people who are not from the Toastmaster community and encourage them to follow the newsletter, sort of subscribe to it and then sort of attract them to the club. Is that
yeah, that's
allowed?
completely fine, because I think there was someone on someone overlapping as well, but I think Toastmaster Amina, I understand your motive. You want to stand out, you want to attract non-Toastmaster audience into your club. And in that way, ultimately, if you have an article which is informative for anybody who's reading it, and your motive is in such a way and your message is going to be informative and encouraging, and it's going to spread a word about Toastmasters, why not? Go for it. It doesn't always have to be, how do you do table topics? It can also be, I think we had notes like, something about a life learning experience. It's completely fine as far as it's informative. It brings up the message of Toastmasters or any of its core values. And yes, overall, I'll come back to my point, decide on the size, the content, and the delivery date. I personally feel you have to create the team and form a team to create a newsletter at least 30 days prior for submission or your publication date. Because if not, there's not going to be solid planning and you wouldn't have time. Think about it. You have to add in content like members' achievements, and achievements are not happening all the time, right? It has to be up to date. There has to be a set of people who list down, okay, this member has achieved this education level achievements, or it could be even winning a contest. Things get, now, currently we have international speech contests and humorous and evaluation speech contests going on. So you have updates. So have a different team to get that, and then you are here editing as a VPPR, you have a photographer to take the pictures, and then you have the proofreaders. So as a team, set a plan, set a guideline, decide on the content, and go ahead and start designing. This is my personal way of working on newsletters, but let me move on to a bit more about how to design. I'm not going to go into this further because I don't think it's about how to edit a newsletter, but I have a few comments to make, which I've noted and I've evolved as a Vice President Public Relations. Number one, I come from a science background from whatever you've read, and I've never edited anything until the last year of my university. That was when I became the Charter Vice President Public Relations of Matale Toastmasters Club. I had no clue about how to even draw something on Word, right? Or even paint. And there came my chance to learn how to edit, learn how to design, and also publish my very first newsletter. It was actually my choice to do it. But I think that was the best learning experience I got. If not, I'm not going to be here right in front of you today and doing a session on creating content newsletters, right? So remember, you don't have to be a graphic designer to create eye-catching newsletter. I'm manifesting to this for myself, and I want all the aspiring public relations managers to manifest that as well. Remember one thing, no matter what sort of content you create, what sort of articles you've got, if your newsletter is not brand compliant, the entire purpose of the brand is gone. So make sure you imply the Toastmasters brand guidelines. I provided the link here, but anybody just Google up brand manual Toastmasters and you get this PDF, right? And you know what? It's very funny how everything's in our hand. We even have a newsletter template in Toastmasters International. For those of you who don't know, you can just right-click away. It's a Word format. Anyone could publish a newsletter using that. It's very simple, and we have it in all 4 branded colors. And Toastmasters has made things so easy for us, right? But if you want to go a step ahead, you don't want to use Word, but you want to be a bit more creative and do stuff, then you have tools like Canva and PowerPoint. Now, here are 4 newsletters that I was a part of and I edited and worked with my team to create for our club newsletter. Number 1, in 2020, that was the first time that I ever learned designing. I created this, the first one you see right there. You can spot a person you probably are familiar with. It's Elevate, our newsletter name. And we had the volume 1, issue 1 published then. See the evolution of how the magazines are edited, right? And then the year after, this was version 2, volume 2, it was this. And both of this I create with the help of PowerPoint and Canva, and I merged it because ultimately we publish our newsletter as a PDF, right? And the last one as well, it was PowerPoint, sorry, last before this was April 2022. And the final one, Elevate, in December 2021, sorry, this is very special to me because I think you can see in the cover page in itself, we got an article featured by the world champion of public speaking, Toastmaster Mike Carr, and we also won the best newsletter in District 82 for that year. And I'm utterly grateful for our YPPR Toastmaster Dulhaj for putting this through, and this had a lot of work in progress. Now I'm going to take some time and show you how this was done, right? So I'll show you the first one, the second newsletter that I did, the PowerPoint version of how it looks, right? For all of you who know here, how I got this idea was I had this cool magazine which had a similar format, you know, people's faces in diagonals. And I thought this shape, right? And I thought this was cool. I should do it with our members. And I sat for 3 days. I'm not joking. I missed my virtual graduation celebration during this 3-hour break. I was doing this cover letter, trying to figure out how do I align all these members' different pictures together and to put up a cover page together. Now, if you notice, these are not professional pictures. This is why I say if you have a photographer, great, because then you can create the best aligned, you know, perfect picture car pages, right? So this was the way that I did it in PowerPoint. So I'll just walk you through. We had the contents page like this. You could see how I've been very simple, very concise. And then we had our president's message. The editor was me. And I was trying to use whatever we had, the resources, and trying to put up a decent newsletter. Now, this was something that, you know, guest impressions, another note. We also had Toastmaster Shiban Khan from District 116, who was a great support when in our chart here. So I even have a wording from her, if you can see. And I think, you know, how to make your speech interesting. One of our members did a note on this. So these and birds of a feather, which was a Toastmaster away from home. We have a hybrid club. So she wrote an article about how she feels to join a club in England she was in England, but the club was in Sri Lanka, and how it feels connected to home. So likewise, in this, say, Toastmastering from a distance, this was another VPPR, the past VPPR who's in Bangladesh, who wrote about this. And visiting Toastmaster. She was one of the Toastmasters in another club who did an article on that. And here's about memories. I told you about the picture gallery, how this was about our area gatherings and how we did it. Now, this was one that we used PowerPoint to do it. And another one I can show is the one that we won in December 2021. So this one, you can see how I've incorporated the picture. It's a PowerPoint, and I've tried to, you see, it's all shapes, gradients, and pictures. And look at this. One important point that I want to show here is this was done with a lot of purpose. Now, if you see the picture, the page in itself, it's just this. You can see club officers, district mission, club mission, core values, where we meet. And behind, we have our club manner and one of our members who is very nicely dressed in her traditional attire and, says Ayubowan. Now, why particularly we wanted her in this page, or I particularly even took this picture for this purpose, was that I wanted to put out the fact that our club was a diverse club. Now, being in Sri Lanka, and especially Martale, we are in the Central Hills, and we are a club which is from a hometown which has all 4 communities. We have Muslims, Buddhists, Hindus, Christians, Burghers, and Malays as well. So our club motive and vision was to have the diverse members and audience from the hometown within the club. And somehow or the other, the first year, we had mostly people dominating from one particular ethnicity. And I wanted to prove that, break that barrier and go ahead. So we had Toastmaster Lyangela, one of our members, post for a picture and, do that Aibo and show that we are actually a diverse club and not just from one community, because not everybody knows it when you see them, right? So try to use the diverse culture, depict what your club is all about. In terms of District 116, I know you're multicultural on another level, right? So use that wisely. Talk about your localities. Who are the people in your club? What are the other ethnicities? Show members from all diversity and give importance, and that will be a nice way to attract members as well. And then this is another way that we created the contents page, and again, a club gallery. And then the best one, we had the article from my car. And this was a different way that we planned to edit this, where, we wrote the word champion and tried to put it back. So we gave emphasis that he's a world champion of public speaking. Likewise, it's different ideas and different ways. And I think like Toastmaster Amina questioned me if they could, use content which is outside Toastmasters. So this was our Toastmaster talking about law of motion and life. It was a lovely message. I'm going to send these links through and y'all can read it through, but this is something that you could do. And again, guest testimonials. And another thing that we did was our youth leadership program. So we wanted to showcase what our club did. And these are some things that we put forward. And these articles in small writings here were the youth leaders' feedback on how they enjoyed the event. And this was an interview with an inspiring past district governor of District 82, DTM Salim and Samin. So these are ways that we can keep it interactive, different, and engaging, because we had a world champion, we had a past district leader, we have our members, our clubs, our achievements, everything that we could put regarding our club, we made sure we include in the newsletter. And I think that was a solid reason why we won, because this is not fascinatingly beautiful or the best in terms of design. But in terms of content, we covered it all. That was the strategy behind. And obviously promote, follow us on social media and all of that on the final page. Now, this was all about using, a PowerPoint to do it, but you also have the other tool that we have, Canva. I'm sure most of you know Canva, but here you go. How you find out templates in Canva, you can just type newsletter and it's going to pop up like this. Right? I hope I'm not lagging. Yeah. So see, there's so many templates. Some are paid, some are free. You can just click on a free template. Something that you could do is customize this template. Definitely this content is not relating to what you need to put, but you can edit the template. You can just put different pictures, maybe something like you can go uploads and see area F3. I've done probably something there, or Toastmasters, something, or my members. You can put up content and we could edit here. Change these colors into brand colors. Have the Toastmasters brand colors. You know the hex codes. You know how it works. Just click it and it's changed. So it's nothing much to do, honestly, just to use the TI brand colors, TI content, shift it a little bit, and you are free to go. For a new Toastmaster who doesn't know editing, who wants to improve, these are some ways that you can do it. Templates. These are pretty easy. It's pretty straightforward, and you are free to go and find it out, right? And make sure you can use all the skills you want to go ahead. So remember the first newsletter that I did, the first Elevate, I think I did the members corner with Canva, the help of Canva. So what I did was I put our club picture, put up a session, and every single member, I put up pictures and had put it up. Reason why I did it back then was I didn't have enough articles. So I wanted to cover up some pages and I just went on to it. These are tips and tricks you can do. Sometimes your articles are getting delayed and you have a deadline to submit or publish. Go ahead and find out different content. It's always not about articles, right? And I think this was one of the special things I did, because every single member who would see this would feel, oh, my picture is in there and I'm acknowledged and we are a family. This is a way that we could, incorporate club culture, make everyone feel as one and make sure that they feel as one. So here I used Canva. And another way I used Canva is for one of the articles. Again, it was about confidence. So I put up some elements and you see, these are fancy ways of putting up stuff. It's easy. You just have to go to elements, type lines and shapes, put up pictures, merge them together, and here you go. I think all of you are pretty much creative. I don't have to give ideas, but this was back then in 2020 that when I tried to learn editing and go ahead, this is some things I did. Now, this is how I used the PowerPoint and, PowerPoint and Canva in terms of editing. But let me focus back onto the content and how we can design it further. So here you go. Yes, coming back to track. So we had creating brand compliant newsletters with Canva and brand compliant newsletters with MS PowerPoint. Moving on to the most important part on some don'ts and do's. If you noticed, I've kept my PowerPoint brand compliant as much as possible. I want to put this don't sign just so that you all remember it evidently, that I had something saying don't do it. And number one is not lose your focus. When you're creating a newsletter, always come back to the question, who is going to read this? Who is this newsletter for? Is it the members or someone else? If it is to someone else, then you're going to change it accordingly. If it is for your members, show your members highlights, show what the club is doing, what the member wants to know. Be a member first before you were a VPPR or an editor or a president or anyone. Think in the feet of a member and come back to your focus. The two golden questions: the purpose of the newsletter, who the audience is. And number two, do not use complicated designs. Now, I know, remember what I did with that cover letter with all those faces in complicated stuff. I tried to put faces in squares and align them. That was so tough. It was not easy. It took me 3 long days without, when I say days, I'm even talking about sleepless nights. I tried to align them because I made it complicated for myself. But do you think if that newsletter, okay, it was attractive in the cover page, but if I really don't have a content, is it worth it? Is someone going to actually read it? No. So does it really matter on how much complicated your design is? Not really. You can keep it as catchy, as attractive as possible, but not complicated. Let's not make things hard. And number three is do not have large content. Don't have 40, 50, 35 page newsletters. That's not okay. What are you going to talk about? Have achievements in each individual page? That's not going to be easy and concise to read. I think no one of us is interested in reading these days, especially if it's we have readers, but is someone going to be reading about the same content about Toastmasters for like 30, 40 pages? Is it going to keep them effective and engaged? That's a question to think about. So I would say not to exceed 20 pages. Try to keep it within maybe 17 to 20. We personally in District 80 to do it until like 17. There is a reason for it, but you could come up to less than 20, I feel, or 24 maximum. So try to keep it concise. And in terms of brand violations, do not violate Toastmasters brands. It could be the usage of logos, just like what I've mentioned here, the size, the placement, the choice of colors. We have the TI blue, we have the TI maroon, and we don't have to put another blue and another maroon. That kills the brand, and do not do that. There is gradients that we can use now, fancy gradients. Even my background is like the TI blue gradient. It's very pretty, right? But there is no, it's a violation to mix a maroon and a red and make a gradient. So do not do that. Or image usage. make sure you have the authority and the right to use the members' images and not use improper or inappropriate images or even copyrighted images. You have to use copyright-free images. You have the Toastmasters gallery to go and find it out if you want free images. But if not, I personally think use your people, use your members' images and get it there. And 4, make sure you use the font that TI has approved. It is Myriad Pro, Montserrat, Gotham Pro, Source Sans Pro, right? So I know the general, my MS PowerPoint doesn't have Myriad and Gotham. So make sure you download it and use that. And there's fascinating things you can do with these 4. Just italic, light, bold, condensed, play around those. And it's also fun to be, within a box and then you have to think outside of it. Make sure you don't use clip arts, illustrations, because we don't allow it in Toastmasters, and do not kill the message of Toastmasters by violating the brand. And that's a personal request because I think the brand is there for a reason and we are all in charge. As I told you before, brand ambassadors for a reason. And what are the do's? Obviously, the do is to plan. I think without planning, nothing works fine. But even with planning, the right set of team, the right set of plans and deadlines, and the implementation, you are going to create a wonderful product. Whether it's a newsletter or a successful club, it's always with planning. So make sure you have a solid plan and you have a solid leadership to lead that and make sure it implements. Do not forget your audience, simple, catchy designs, follow brand guidelines, and most importantly, stand out. And to stand out, you need to think outside the box, or just get rid of the box and make sure you have something extraordinary put out there. Some things I did, I've already shared with you, like, get in world champions to talk about your club, or get in other people to do. Have the world, the district, the club, the division, the area, every aspect of Toastmasters covered in your newsletter. That is something I personally think is the best way to create quality, different, engaging, and entertaining content. Overall, I would like to say that you've done so much. You've figured out your focus, you've created the quality content, you've designed it. And ultimately, this won't go through if you don't use the right platforms and right tools to publish and promote. What's the purpose of creating all that months of days of hard work and not publish it properly? So I think we have something called issue.com, which Toastmasters in itself says, where we can publish our newsletters. I did see some of the District 116 newsletters today before preparing for the session as well, and I saw it in issue.com. So that is something that we can use to publish and promote. And something that we do is, okay, after you publish your newsletter, why not send individual emails to your club members saying newsletters are published? It doesn't always have to be a subscription, right? We can go ahead and publish it out there and make sure individually every member is addressed and should, okay, look out, our magazine or our Toastmasters newsletter is out and you can check it out. Right? So make sure you promote in all sorts of social media channels in every way possible to make sure your content is delivered. Overall, I think from all that I told you, here are some resources that I personally use to get quality copyright-free images. You have Pixabay, Unsplash, and FreePic. For TI newsletter template, you have this template. For online gradient makers, especially if you're a Canva user, I don't think you have all the types of gradients. We have to create them sometimes and upload it as an image. So this is some link to remove background, remove.bg. And I personally have uploaded all the gradients in this drive. So if anyone who needs it, you can click onto this link. I'll share it on the chat later. So overall, I think I have provided my piece of knowledge and experience on how to create a quality content newsletter. And always remember to know your audience, to know your focus, to create quality content, and make sure you're happy while you're designing it, because you are creating something to promote a brand, and you are a brand ambassador. And when you do it, be happy and passionate about it. Because when you're passionate about something, it's real hard work out there and it's going to pay a price, right? So back to MC, Toastmasters Swetha. That's it from me.
With all your permission, now I would like to add a prefix. TTM Rifka, you are a distinguished Toastmaster. Really, you are a wizard. Big round of applause, please. I was telling the faith is about taking one step, but how many steps she gave you now? 4 steps? Is that not enough? Like I'm sure like all of you are thinking about taking her personal number, ping her right now and get her number. This is going to be very useful for you, and make all your club newsletter very attractive so that District 116 become more attractive. And thank you so much, Rifka, for well informative and organized presentation. Thank you so much for accepting our request and from Sri Lanka taking this effort to put everything to us. It's really useful because I myself is in the preparation of next newsletter. I'm going to ping you personally. Our next trainer is, you all know her. I don't think you need an introduction. The current president of Philcom Toastmasters Club, TTM Swetha Raghuraman, internal audit consultant at Protivity Middle East and a Toastmaster for last 4.5 years, who has proved her mettle as an introspective communicator and in public relation effort, especially in videos and promotional campaigns. This PR champion in 2020 is non-ever-ready support and service to district in last 2 district conference were raved upon and most sought after. Put your hands together and welcome our next trainer, DTM Swetha. Swetha, screen is yours.
Thank you so much, Toastmasters Smita, fellow Toastmasters and our virtual guests. Good day to you all from wherever you are at this world. And I am extremely honored and extremely privileged to present you my presentation on how to create and edit videos. Very simple way. So to tell you a bit about videos, it is something very new. It is something very it is something very niche that has been discovered in Toastmasters PR front, probably let's just say at the start of the pandemic back in late 2019, 2020. So my journey in video editing basically began from there. I started from scratch and I don't know how, but people started liking it. So I am really touched with that. And today I am going to share you a bit on my insights on what videos are all about, how you or how anyone can become a champ in video editing and video creation. You don't need so much tools, not so much sophistication. You don't have to complicate or overwork yourself in that. It is as simple as it could get. So before I begin, I hope I have everyone's attention. You can just give me a thumbs up if you're embarrassed to turn on your videos. Can I get a thumbs up? Perfect. Okay, I'm really liking the participation. So now I will proceed to share my presentation to you all. So I want to know what a video is. So can anyone tell me what a video is according to you? Tell me in your own words. What is a video?
Motion picture with sound.
Correct. And I believe it is our district PQD, Toastmaster Ravi Shankar. Thank you so much, sir. You have rightly pointed out that is an aspect of a video. So I was going through this definition of video. So before I could tell you about that, this is what the content of my overall presentation would cover, where I'll be talking what the videos are all about, how it's so important in promotions and the different formats and structures, my most used and most recommended video creation and editing softwares that I would definitely recommend you all to try your hand at. And also I'm going to show a very simple demonstration on how the editing can be done in Canva at the interest of time. And then remind you about the brand guidelines when it comes to video. And finally, suggest you some of my most used tools and resources which enhances the video quality overall. So coming to the definition of video, as pointed out by our district program quality director, Toastmaster Ravi Shankar, it is about motion pictures with sound, with images moving. And this is the definition that I got from Google, basically. It is the recording, reproducing, or broadcasting of moving visual images, or else a recording of moving visual images made digitally or on a videotape. So traditionally, what I believed video was basically you slapped like a clips of small videos or pictures in between, or moving pictures traditionally, and that is how videos were formed. But little did I know, I used to think that only professional graphic designers used to do it very well. Someone who had a lot of financial investment in that could do it. But after my tenure as the Vice President Public Relations, I have realized that you don't need any of those. You just need one simple tool and a very good computer. As long as you have those two things, then definitely making videos would be much easier. And it comes also with practice, I would say. So now coming to the importance of promotions. So can anyone tell me what is a common difference between the flyer and the video? I'm not talking about what it is. I want to know what makes a video different from a flyer. Would anyone like to tell me? It's okay. So if I have to tell you the difference between a flyer and a video, it starts with two things. One is how interactive it is, and it is about the reach. Compared to flyers, videos are a bit more interactive because they interact with your ideas. They play with your mind, basically. So that is where the interactivity begins. And secondly, compared to flyers, videos have more reach. And this has been proven even in reality, because if you look at movie promotions, then you would see more than the movie posters, videos are creating more hype, because videos are circulated in different social media platforms across different spectrums, and it can be easily edited and played around in form of reels or in form of memes. And moreover, compared to the response for the flyers, videos have more response because each frame of a video offers something different or the other compared to the flyer, which is one standalone model. So that is why videos communicate more things compared to the flyers, as it is not just an attractive tool, but more importantly, it influences your thoughts and action as an audience, because it is only through that video you would decide whether I want to proceed connecting with that endeavor again or not, whether seeing that meeting video would want me to attend that meeting or not. That is how videos influence you in that way. So there are different formats of video. And if I talk about formats, you all know of three things in a video. So the videos can be in form of promos, a simple video messages, basically how you record in your own mobile or selfie camera, or even the meeting recordings, like how it is being recorded now. So promos are usually short videos. Video messages can depend on the number of words that you're using or the amount of time you're taking to convey a specific message or inviting a person to a meeting. And meeting recordings, as long as it could get, depending on the time frame of the meeting. So when it comes to structure, it is commonly debated, like, what is the right structure of the video? Your video can have any form of structure, any form of format, but this structure that I've outlined here in the presentation, excuse me, it is about the typical meeting video. So how should it be in a Toastmasters club video is that once you start a video, the first frame of your video should usually have the logo, the name, or the name of your club or the organization. Followed by that, sorry, will be the disclaimer. which should be a minimum of 5 seconds. The disclaimer is very important because you are addressing all the concerns related to copyright infringement and about how important the organization is. So that is the importance of having a disclaimer in a video. Followed by the disclaimer, you have the freedom to communicate or advertise whatever you want about that particular event. Let's just say this Peekaboo series, and there's going to be a workshop on a newsletter. Then you can put your video content about what this workshop is going to be about, what's in it for you, and who is the presenter, and so many other details. And if it is going to be about a regular club meeting, then a message from the Toastmaster of the day who would invite you to come join us for the meeting. And, you know, many different types of content that you can plug into that content or in that frame during the third and probably the 7th or 8th frame, depending on the length of the video. And finally, in the last frame of the video, this is very important. You always have to have the credits. You need to acknowledge the person who's created the video, the name of the author. You need to have the C symbol, which is the copyright sign, the date of creation, and the logo of Toastmasters International or any organization that you're part of, depending on the brand guidelines that they follow. So this is the structure of the video. Now, coming to different types of video creation softwares that I use typically, and to be honest, I don't use all of these. I will highlight which are the ones I use mainly. So I usually get these type of questions, whether it is worth investing in paid tools of software to create video, or whether it's better to stick to free tools and software and just work around with that. Well, my answer to that question would be the choice is actually yours. It is completely up to your discretion whether you would want to just simply use only free available tools or go for paid tools. But in my experience, I tend to use a combination of tools. For one video, I tend to juggle between 3 different softwares. And it is okay. It might sound a bit overwhelming, but as you start getting a hang of it, it is fine. But I would still recommend you, if you want to keep it as simple as possible, using one tool is way more than enough. So there are many free tools or softwares available like Canva, the free version of Canva, not the pro version. The free version of Canva offers you a very simplified mode of creating a video. And I will be demonstrating in a while how it is done. Followed by that is the OpenShot video editor. This is a very open source tool, a free video editing tool, which is very useful for creating basic videos. If you're looking for basic type of video transitions and animation, then this is a recommended tool, I would say. And this has been one of the most earliest discovered video tools and websites, basically. And I still use it till date, and because it is very useful for trimming the audios and basically fading in and fading out the sound and adding basically very simple video frame transitions. Then the most freely available of all is the photos and the video editor app in the Windows. If you have a Windows laptop, you can find this in your search box, and it is it's very much available and very simple to use. And of course, what we tend to use for business purposes can also be used for video creation as well, which is our PowerPoint. The only thing complicated about PowerPoint is using the timing sequence. So you need to know how to time from one slide to another. And in that way, it will be able, once you get a hang of it, you will be able to do it. But besides that, if for many PR and many graphics, videos, and animation enthusiasts who are very interested can look into these type of paid tools and software. There is Magisto, which has only 3 easy steps where you upload your media, choose the frame, choose the type of the animation you would like for your for each video frame, and you can even choose a music. Then what experts usually go for is Photoshop and Adobe Premiere. Then what many YouTube influencers use are like Wondershare by Filmora and iMovie, and as well as Windows Movie Maker. these are, I would say, the 5 recommended tools. I have used, in reality, I have used like 3 of them, which is Magisto, Premiere, and also Wondershare. They have been really helpful for a while. And if you want, you can go ahead and invest and try them, like, or probably go for a free trial and experiment with them so you can get a hang of them. So now I will go ahead and start with showing you guys a previous the video I have created using Canva, just showing you a glimpse of the features that you could use to create and edit the videos basically. So can I get a raise hand or a thumbs up from anyone if you're okay at this point? And if you guys have are familiar with Canva also. Okay, perfect. Great. I'm really liking the enthusiasm and the response I'm getting. So great job, guys. And now I will take you guys to Canva. So we all know that Canva is traditionally used as a tool for creating flyers. Many VPPRs know it as a flyer. Very few VPPRs, they use it for creating videos. But trust me, Canva is a very simple tool. What you have to do is, once you go to the home page, then instead of choosing the flyer templates, which you can find over here, you can choose the videos, and it will show you the different type of videos. Usually the recommended dimension for any video is like 16:9, which is 1920 to 1820px. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there are different type of formats that you could use. Excuse me. So now I am going back to my design. This is one of the previous videos that I have used basically for for one of the previous contests, let's say area contest. So I was promoting, I was part of the PR process for this area contest, and I was told to make a video showcasing the positive aspects, or probably introducing what Area 28 was about. So, like, just excuse me, it's taking a time to load. So like I have shown, there are different frames. I have used about, let's just say, around 10 to 15 frames in this video. And you know, this video, if I tell you about the structure, I have taken the opening where I will talk about the area. And then I have a disclaimer of Toastmasters. Followed by that, so here it is. Okay. So in the first frame, what do you see? You see the logo and you see the name of the club or area. In this case, it's an area contest, so I've highlighted the name of the area. And then in the next frame, for 5 seconds, what do you see? It is the disclaimer. Normally 5 seconds is recommended because the disclaimer needs to be visible for everyone and readable as much as possible. It should not be something that goes like this. You need to wait for a bit and then flip to the next slide. And that is the duration. That's why 5 seconds is usually the recommended duration for your disclaimer. Followed by that, in the next frame, you will see who are we as an area. And then I have added like many stock videos over here that you can see. So I use many different tools of stock videos. I downloaded from Pixabay. And then, there are many different websites like pexels.com and Pixabay, where they offer free stock videos. And through that, I usually I create an account, and then I download whatever is freely available. And on that basis, I just upload it in Canva and I paste it over here. Then I use my own font and all the tools that are traditionally available for flyer designing in Canva and basically customize it. So you can see there are different stock videos. So what you see in the next part of this video is basically the video message. And here you can see one distinguished Toastmasters is giving a message as one of the club presidents. And you could see like there are different video messages from different club presidents of the clubs in that specific area. And this is basically what the introduction of the area is. And then what do I do? Towards the end of this frame, I go to the concluding part. And in the last frame, what do you see is the credits. You see the logo of Toastmasters, the information of the district, the credits, the author who's created this video, that is myself, and also the copyright symbol with the date and the version of when this video was created. So as you can see, this video was created roughly like a year ago. So now let me tell you what are the different features in Canva that you could use for a video. So let me start with basic. If you see the small box over here, this is basically the video frame. And if you click the 3 dots over here, you get different options, like you can add a page, or else you can duplicate this same page. You can delete, hide, lock the page. If you lock the page, it will stop the page from being moved. You can even split the page depending on the duration. For example, if it is a 3-second one, it will be split to 1.5, 1.5. And then you can even add transition in between page. So I will show you how the transition part is done. So if you add transition, then you will see suddenly in the right hand side, the pane basically changes. So you will see different type of transitions. There is dissolve, there is a slide. If you dissolve, see it moves like this. Then there is the option called slide. That means it moves to the second frame. So you can choose the duration, amount of time that should take for the transition to happen, the direction for the transition to happen, and you can even choose like different frames. Please note, I am using currently the pro version of Canva, so that's why you could see most of the features available. But traditionally, it is usually the first 3 features, that is dissolve, slide, and even the line wipe, I believe, is the ones that are always available. Using those 3 are more than enough for you. And then there are you have even an option to apply the same type of transition between the pages if you want. And if you want to change also, you are also free to change it as it is. And then afterwards, you can move on to the next element, and this next element is called the animation. So you see over here on top of each frame, there is something written. Like there's pop written over here, there is block written over here. So what is this exactly? This is an option called animate. If you click over here, then you can see this animation is specifically about page animations. That means how the elements in that page should appear on the whole. So if I show you this option called sleek, that means the text which is in this page will appear in this format. If it is fun, it will come like this. If it is party, then this is how it happens. So like there are different ways in which you can, play around with the page animation as well. You even have an option to apply it to all pages, or you can even remove the animations overall. But sometimes there are specific type of animation which I want to use for different things. Like for example, let me show you in the next slide that there is this option called this letter called professional development forum. I don't like it, if it jumps, if it moves in certain way. So if I click that element, then you can see there's another option called text animations. So in text animations, you can highlight the animation, the animating aspect of that element. So for example, I want it to look professional. So what will I do? So I would show it as wipe, because this looks much more appropriate to this page and to this animation. And I will choose this option called wipe. So how do I want it? Do I want it to be for starting from the exit, or do I want it to show it as an entry, or should I show it as a combination of both? So I'm choosing it as both. I can adjust the speed and the direction. You can see this King's logo over here. This means that it is actually a pro version, so you don't have to use it as such. You have an option of reversing the animation, but currently I don't want to use it, so I'm not used it. So there are like different elements you could play. But also the coolest thing about this Canva video tool is also you can add an audio. A video without music is like it is like having oranges without the orange juice. I know it doesn't make sense, but I hope I made it as relatable as possible. So you can see in Canva, the music, the audio library has a collection of a lot of music. So there are, as much as possible, there are free ones which are available. You can add and customize different type of music as you want. So here, I will just demonstrate you how to add the music. So there is this music that I think is very much appropriate for this tool called advertising. So if I choose this, then, and I drag and drop it, then you can see this music has been applied to almost the entire video. So when I play this, when I play a demonstration of this, then you can see that the music is applied towards the entire video. That means the video moves along with the music. However, the only drawback with Canva, I would say, is you don't have the freedom to, fade in and fade out a voice. And the music over here is constantly on loop. So the only suggestion I could offer you for this is to either, if you're okay with it, you can go for this, or else if you want to download some of the music and add it, you can add it if you have a pro version, or else you need to use an alternative tool like an open source tool to merge the audio with the video, which is very simple as well. And so yeah, basically that is how you add the music to the video. Then you also have an option to add different types of elements and all. You can change even the design of the video to your liking. You can treat each frame of the video as how you design a flyer, and you can add different type of elements like like those tools, and you can add like a lot of freely available animation gifs or graphics, whichever is available in this, and you can customize it to your liking as well. And then afterwards, like you do, you can choose the share option and then click download. And please note, MP4 is the recommended format if you want to download the video, because if you go for a GIF, that is, you get it as a short clip with no sound. And usually if you're planning to upload this entire video in your club socials, then MP4 is the recommended format, because it has more resolution and it gives you an opportunity for the audio to synchronize well with the audio sound to synchronize well with your video, and the motion and the graphics part as well. So yeah, as simple as it could get. This is what how Canva is designed. And also one more thing, in case I missed it, you even have, you can even trim out the duration you can take for the frames. You can play around with the corner arrows of each frame to basically play around with the duration as well. So yeah, that's it. I hope I have covered the most important aspect of basically creating and editing videos in Canva. And you can even play around with it. It is very simple as it could get. So I would definitely recommend all the newbies to start with Canva as the basic video editing tool, because it is very simple. And later, as you get more experience and as you get bored of the monotony, then you could go for a much more advanced tools, and which I have suggested and recommended, because this video is being recorded, and I will also be sharing my presentation which covers all the information. You're also free to explore it to your liking as well. So next part is the brand. Know the brand. So if you refer to page 29 of the latest TI branding guidelines, there is only one page of TI guidelines specific to the video. Like I've said, your video should highlight the club name or district name, and it should be placed below the logo to indicate which club or district the video is being created. And also your end credits should highlight those same details as well, and the copyright symbol, district number, or the year should also be displayed as well. And if required, whoever you're going to get like represent in the video, let's just say someone very if you're going to take an important message from, like, let's just say a district leader, then if you like to follow the rules book by book, then I would recommend you to use the video release form, get a consent from them, and then use their video. Because even if they can verbally consent, it's fine, but if they don't, then it will be very unethical and not necessarily compliant to the brand. Moreover, the video should not infringe any intellectual property, privacy, or publicity rights, ownership, or any other legal or moral rights of third party, and must be suitable for public viewing. So, for example, if you're using any videos, let's just say that can infringe copyrights, that has some copyright rules applicable, then don't download it unethically. Try to go for the ones which are copyright free, which are free of all those licenses and legal issues, and then go for them. So keep it as ethical and as compliant as possible. And always, I keep telling everyone, add the disclaimer. It's very simple over here. You just have to copy paste. You don't have to write it, because in the editable PDF of the brand manual, you can copy paste it and add it in your video, the brand, basically the disclaimer. And once your video is ready, then I would request, it is advisable you submit the trademark use form. I do understand sometimes we create the videos in last minute, but try to plan yourself ahead. Try to get your video ready at least 10 days before the impended release or something, and then submit it to the Toastmasters brand at toastmasters.org. They are very helpful people. They will even advise you on whether it is okay, whether to use this, to not use this. They would even advise you on the amount of freedom that you're allowed to take and all those things. So they are, so it's very useful. Please follow these guidelines and know the brand, because brand is what represents our Toastmasters International, and we are Toastmasters first before being any public relations expert. So try to respect the brand, because we are getting a lot from this organization. So let's just give back. At least let's just give them some respect. So this is the best we could do, following their own guidelines. So now I have highlighted different types of softwares that you could use. But sometimes when we use the free versions, we would want to enhance these tools, basically. That is like if we want to add like some fun elements like animation, or if you want to add like some special stock videos, or maybe some music, like some free corporate music that is available, then there are these different types of websites. Like there is you can get the free stock videos from Pixabay, like how the previous presenter suggested, like you can get images over there, copyright free images and all those. You can even get free stock videos from that. You can even get free stock music from Pixabay, Mixkit, and YouTube. I usually use YouTube music. I type like free copyright free corporate music, because corporate music are usually very much applicable to regular Toastmasters meeting, unless if it's a conference, then if you want to add like those sports type strong powerful music, then you go for this thing. But even if you're trying to add like popular music, as much as possible, try to check if there is if there's the one which does not have any copyright infringement, like it doesn't have any of those problems. So then if they are if you won't be muted by the social media websites, then it is fine. Because sometimes if you add a copyright music, you would be getting a warning from the social media. Like for example, in YouTube, if you add a video with a copyright music, then YouTube has the authority to take control of that video, to either remove it, or they would mute that specific area of that video, mute the music of that, and leave it as blank, or maybe they will just cut that part of video. So that is how it could go, and it won't look good basically for the organization as such. So try to stay away from copyright. But you can also create animated videos using Animaker. And if you like doodle videos, there's also doodly.com, but it's usually paid ones. And as usual, you can even use PowerPoint for like creating different elements and basically creating very simple videos minute by minute as such. So I have some of my tips based on my experience. So I usually get these questions that whether it is worth investing, whether it is worth going for paid apps like Photoshop, Premiere, Wondershare by Filmora, or Magisto. To be honest, it's completely up to you. I wouldn't, even personally, I wouldn't mind investing, because I remember like few years back, I used to like pay for these apps license, and I used to use them, and trust me, it has completely elevated my my club's social media presence, and also my personal social media presence, because if it is something that offers a return on investment to your efforts, then it should definitely be worth trying it. So don't be afraid to get out of that zone and stop of course, you need to think on the financial aspect as well, but try to go for a much more reasonable option to start with. Secondly, once you create the video, then try to analyze your social media, basically the reach, the likes, the amount of comments, and the amount of views that you get. And based on that, you'll be able to know the behavior of the audience. Don't keep giving them same thing again and again. Think about what they want. You need to always try to push the envelope as much as possible. And that brings you to the third advice that I have, is to try to be creative, think out of the box. Don't try to reinvent the wheel continuously. Try to do something very different. You can do like some sort of animation first, and you can even go for some some different type of art videos in your next video. Like basically capture different audience and get them really invested in your club initiatives or whatever you're doing basically. But even as much as you try to go creative, don't forget about the brand. Respect it as much as possible, but on the whole, just enjoy this process, because like Bill Gates said, and this is the quote that is going to live up throughout this evening, he'd rather spend the last ever left money in PR, then why don't you? Because if Bill Gates does it, so why don't you? I have done it, and I believe you can. And it need not be just money. You can invest your own time in learning something that you've never done before. And trust me, you never know how much of the potential that you will be untapping, and different new type of talents that you'll be discovering within yourself. So that's it. I conclude my presentation, and thank you so much for your time. And please, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I'm ready to share these materials as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Swetha. Wonderful session. And you guys have lots of tips from her, including structure of videos, different creation and edition, and also how to use the time duration. So next is our question and answer session. Whoever has questions, how they will ask, they'll be put in the chat box, or they can ask directly. Can we spotlight both of them, both the trainers? Oh, I think she is not available. So please note that our trainer 1 is not available now. So trainer 2 is Swetha is there. So those whoever has questions, please go ahead. And those who have questions to Rifka, the email address is put in the chat box. You can send to her through email. Our PRM, district PRM, put the email in the chat box, so you can email to her. So let's start the question and answer session. Swetha is ready. Hello.
I'd just
Yeah,
like to
so
say
one second.
Swetha made a very detailed presentation. It was informative and she covered all aspects, so no real questions there. Thank you.
Then we can ask everyone to switch on the cameras. If everybody understood everything, then Swetha can ask questions. She'll check everybody understood or not.
PQD is checking the program quality.
Swetha, is it okay if you can show me one more time the audio input into the video on that screen? Possible?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
can
So,
change In less
yeah,
than a
let-
minute, not take much.
yes, of course. Yeah. So basically, you see here in Canva, like if you go below this frame editor, what you will see is you see this purple color box, and this is actually the audio. And here, you have even the option to, basically adjust the track and all those things. So you can, let me just delete this. So how do you add an audio? So basically you upload the audio, or you just choose the audio from the available library that they have. And they usually have, Canva usually has a very good collection of audios as much as possible. So just try to toggle this video line to the place where you want to start your audio sound at. So if you want to start at the beginning, then drag any music. Let me just choose a different music. Okay, so I want to drag this music called ukulele music. So I will just once you left click this one and then drag it, then you'll see drag your music into the timeline. So add the music over here, and then you will see like some sort of a blue box coming up. This will show this is basically the placement where you exactly want to put it at. So I want to put this in the beginning. So I'll put this over here, and then you will see it in a while that it would have already I think it's not appeared. Oh, sorry about that. So once you click over here, then you will see that it will come up. It'll come up basically. So you also, if you don't want it at this point, you can adjust, you can move, you can basically move the audio wherever you want it to start. And in that way, you will be able to basically adjust it. Yeah. But you can even add like 2-3 music at a time as well. So yes, that's about it. I hope it's clear.
How do you bring I got this. How do you bring any music into this library?
Okay, you want to you're talking about adding a music, right?
For example, some master song, something I want to include in my library. How do I include it?
1 second. Just a second. Yes, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, yeah. So as I was saying, like you can basically upload the music like how you normally upload the pictures and all those things. So once you upload, basically you click the upload, you'll see different options like image, videos, and audios. And like I have basically uploaded like few set of audios in the past. This is usually in the Canva Pro, it is usually possible. But yeah, like what you can do is once you upload it, you can drag this music in a similar way like how you drag the music from the library as well. And but the only drawback with the Canva is you can adjust the volume of the music. But if you want to add like a if you want to cut and clip, or probably, you know, like have a fade in and fade out element for the music, then it is a challenge. So for that, usually what I would suggest is if you could use this MP3 file, probably fade in and fade out the elements that you want to adjust, and then apply the same, then upload that music and then put it over here. So that is how you usually are supposed to act in the free version. That is how it is usually done basically. Or else the alternative is use other softwares like OpenSoft video editor. It's free to download, completely free, no charges as such. And there you can basically you know, like alter the music to your liking.
Good. Thank you, Swetha.
Okay. Any other question? I think everyone is very smart. I'm very impressed with the audience.
No, you explained it so well that, you know, it is all crystal clear. Thank you. Thank you so much, Swetha. It was a very useful session. If you could share your PowerPoint, it'll be even more useful, wherein, you know,
Yes.
we'll have the information about the unpaid versions. Yeah.
Of course, yeah. Absolutely. So I will be sharing the presentation here in the chat now. So whoever is here with us online, you have the direct access to the chat, and I will
That's
this thing.
great. Yeah.
Yes, and I think even Toastmaster Shanmuga Pandian, who also asked the same question to me,
Yeah.
I will be sharing this presentation to you, so you can even have an access to all these elements as well. And yeah, okay. I would okay. Some Toastmaster Sampath. Yes, I'm not having the access to share the files basically. So did you disable the chat as such?
Yeah, I enable now.
Okay. Okay, great. Okay, so I will just share the file now, and hopefully it will be useful to everyone tonight.
Yeah, and the recording also, you know, it's better shared in the district council so that it will be useful for all the PRs.
Yeah.
It's quite informative
Yes.
session.
We will be sharing it.
Thank you.
Okay. The presentation has been shared now.
Thank you, Swetha.
Thank you.
I like your tip. Investments on paid app is not bad. Those who really love public relation and video editing, flyers creation, certainly they can pay on it. Because I'm using a pro version of Canva. It's really
But
good.
even
because
yeah, even these days, you know, sometimes creating videos itself is not required, because TikTok has become very popular. So like you know, some I've seen, even not in Qatar especially, but I've seen many Toastmasters outside District 116 who have used TikTok for promoting meetings as well. So if you want to keep it very simple, use TikTok.
Okay, we'll try.
Yes.
Are we done with the questions? Any more questions?
I suppose we are done with the questions. Yes.
I think we are full time. So can we conclude the question and answer session?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So the next is like with this. Thank you so much, Swetha, and it's been my pleasure and honor to be your MC today. I had lots of takeaway messages. So I am a PR member, but I got lots of information from both the trainers. Thank you so much for your effort and spending time for us. And the next is thanking note from our district public relation manager. I will hand over the control backs to the DTM Nuruddin.
Thank you, Toastmaster Smita. First of all, I will request everyone to Google, especially Toastmaster Smita, Toastmaster Aparna, and DTM Swetha. Please Google the latest news about Bill Gates. I hope we have not brought him down to $1. Yet we conducted a fantastic PR training tonight. And this was successful only because of the support of all of you. So I thank each one of you. Firstly, I would thank the trainers, Toastmaster MKP Rifka. She was simply AWE, amazing, wonderful, and excellent. I personally could learn a lot of the new information from her. It's late night in Sri Lanka, and she is facing some power cuts, so that's why she had to go back. But still, she stayed awake for all of us. Thank you, Toastmaster Rifka from District 116. Toastmasters is a global organization, and to make use of being a global organization this year, our District 116 had tried to bring trainers from all across the world. We had world champion of public speaking from South Africa. We had our international president joining us in one session from America. We had trainers in different trainings from India and now from Sri Lanka, and more are yet to come. However, we have a lot of talented people in our own district, many multi-talented people, and one such person is distinguished Toastmaster Swetha. She is fantastic. She knows a lot of things, and I had been requesting her from a long time, but unfortunately we couldn't get time to conduct this session earlier. But at last we were able to do it. And thank you, DTM Swetha, for giving your time and effort and preparing this wonderful module and presenting it. And it was superb. It was superb. We had a lot of takeaways from that. One thing I would like to say, we had 3 PR training sessions this term till now. And in that, myself, Kumaran, and Ranjit, we 3 were male trainers. And actually, there were 4 female trainers in our 3 sessions till now. Toastmaster Naila, Toastmaster Bindu Pillai, Swetha, and Rifka. So the women are actually going ahead than the men. So hats off to all of you ladies. And one such lady in our PR team is Toastmaster Smita Bindu. She is fantastic. She is enthusiastic. She is amazing. And you tonight you conducted a fantastic session. I really appreciate your efforts. And you are a district newsletter editor also. You have done it well, and keep it up. Good luck. No session into District 116 goes without thanking one person, and he is none other than Toastmaster Pradeep Sadhye. He was our timer tonight. Now he's always available for all of us. Thank you, Toastmaster Pradeep. I know him from the early days of my Toastmasters time, and I might have thanked him 100 times, and all of you must have, maybe 200 times, because every session he is there. So thank you, Pradeep, again for joining. He was actually joining an in-person meeting and this online session also. Thank you, District Director. Thank you, District PQD. Thank you, the District Administration Manager. Thank you, our one and only IT Manager, Toastmaster Sampath. You were fantastic. You were a big support for me in conducting this event. And last but not the least, I thank the audience. Although everybody were busy with contest, but many people join it. Thank you, everyone. With this, I will close District PR Training number 3. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Have a good night.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Good night.
I will close the meeting now.
Oh yeah, sure.